All right, so children, while the parents are working on their share, I have a fun game for you too. Have you guys done Sudoku before? I'm sure you've seen it before. Usually you see numbers in it, right? This time, however, it is pictures of food. So let's get to it and let's see if you can figure out what to do. So, in each and every 3x3 or the long lines, cross or down, the pictures of the food should appear only once. So you have to be good enough to arrange them. And now let's see if you can fill in all the empty spaces. I will walk around so then I can explain it to you a little bit more in details. All right, so let's get to work. So now that I know quite a lot about you already, I compiled some motivators here. And I would like to share this with you and see which ones you think would be a good one for you to prompt change in your current behavior. So let's walk through. First, I want my child to live a full and healthy life without life-threatening experiences due to allergen food. I want my child be able to communicate his health condition to the ones who provide food for him without fear. I avoid allergen foods at home. However, I never thought about substituting with other items. My child rarely goes to play with his classmates to avoid potential allergic reaction as well as potential embarrassment. I want to know how much nutrients my child is missing due to avoiding allergen foods. I want to know what would happen if he socialized more with his friends. I know I can collect enough information to substitute allergen food. I know I can teach my child how to be responsible and at the same time not to miss out on social time with his friends. And finally, my child's pediatrician emphasized the importance of nutritious food. My friends are inviting us and my child to go out more often with them. My child's health is extremely important. My child's emotional health is also extremely important. It is easier to simply avoid allergen foods than looking for substitutes. It is easier to keep him home than teaching him how to communicate with others. And I love my child. So you've got this sheet as well in your folder. So why don't we take again just a couple of minutes just to go over and then let's prompt some further discussions about it. And while we wait for your parents to finish the assignment here, children, let's get together for some macronutrients games. So you see 3 big circles. One says carbohydrates, the other one says protein and fat. These are those big micronutrients in our body that we have to make sure that our food supplies enough of them. And we have a list of foods here. And let's just play around with whether the foods that are there goes to the purple, the blue, or the yellow circle. And the foods are honey, apple, watermelon, banana, broccoli, potato, corn, maple syrup, rice, pasta, avocado, orange, mayonnaise, butter, sausage, cheese, cottage cheese, milk, olive oil, peanut oil, turkey, egg, fish, beef, chicken, hamburger, yogurt, pork, and chips. So some of you may be allergic to some of these foods. So how about if on your sheet first you are going to circle those ones that you are allergic to and then try to place them in the circle. So some food may have carbohydrates and proteins in it or carbohydrates and fat in it, and then some may have oil. Okay, so we can get around this big table over there on your right, all children, and I will come and help you. So we will do this all together. Okay, so let's have fun with it. All right, parents. So now that we have talked through those motivators, now let's look at some facilitators that may help you to prompt the change as soon as possible. So you will find it in your folder again, but I will read it out for you. So I would buy substitute foods to replace allergen foods if I knew what food is appropriate. I would pay attention to nutrient intake of my child if I had information on what nutrients and how much daily is important for my child, as well as for the entire family. I am not sure if I can afford nutritious food and if it's available in our stores. What if my family does not like the substitute food? I would teach my child how to communicate his health conditions to others if I knew and was confident on how to effectively do it. I do the grocery shopping and I prepare the food. I make decisions about where to eat out. I can be more prepared if I had better skills to read labels in supermarket. Besides focusing on allergen ingredients, it is also an opportunity to look for healthy versus unhealthy food. I would speak up in a restaurant setup clearly about my child's allergies if I was not shy, embarrassed, and afraid of being rejected. I'm thinking about educating myself about nutrition if I knew where to look for information. I would be more confident if the surrounding community understood more about food allergies, and I would like to learn goal-setting skills. And children, let's get back to our table. You see those folders there waiting for you. So there are, on the left side, you can see that there are all the vitamins listed there. Vitamin B, folate, vitamin C, vitamin E, A, D, E, and K. And on the right side, those little boxes say that some is water-soluble and some fat-soluble vitamins. So let's try to figure out, let's play around with it. Which one do you think is soluble in water and which one is in fat? So while your parents are working on their assignment again, I am going to come and we'll do this activity together. Alright, so let's have fun with this one too. So now that we know what are our motivators and facilitators, let's look at those particular foods that our children are allergic to. Well, let's start with milk. Cow's milk and cow's milk products, they are major source of calcium, riboflavin, phosphorus, pantothenic acid, vitamin B12 and vitamin D when it's fortified, protein and fat. When milk is eliminated from the diet, alternative sources of these nutrients must be found elsewhere in the diet. So let's see what we can find and why these nutrients are important. So let's start with calcium. Fortified alternative beverages would replace milk, such as soy, rice, oat, almond, coconut, hemp, and potato. Calcium fortified tofu and calcium fortified juice. So mainly fortified foods that we need to look for here. Some of them though can be dangerous because if you are at the same time also allergic to certain nuts, then definitely almond or coconut, these ones may be out of the question. Why is calcium important? It is important for healthy bones and teeth, helps the heart, the nervous system, and the muscles to work properly. Vitamin D. Again, fortified alternative beverages are something that we can look at. Fortified margarine, fortified alternative yogurts, fish oils, salmon, and other fatty fish. Vitamin D helps calcium to build in our bones and in our body. It also may be linked to certain allergies. So I think for us, vitamin D is very important that we pay close attention to, that we meet the daily need. Vitamin B12, how we can substitute milk with meat, fish, poultry, eggs, enrich alternative milk beverages. So I think this is not so difficult if somebody eats meat. Vitamin B12 is important for healthy nerves and healthy blood cells, and it also helps make DNA. It prevents certain anemia, which makes us really tired. So B12 is an important nutrient. Vitamin A. What can be good substitute food is liver, egg yolk, fortified margarine, dark green leafy vegetables, deep orange fruits and vegetables, fortified alternative beverages. So again, if we eat eggs and certain vegetables and fruits, then vitamin A should be taken care of. It is important for our healthy teeth, skeleton, the skin, and also for our eyesight. Pantothenic acid. This can be replaced with meat, vegetables, eggs, whole grains, legumes, and fish. So there's a wide variety of food that will substitute milk. And pantothenic acid is another B vitamin, which helps to convert carbohydrate into glucose. So that is sort of helps us to get fuel and energy for the body. Riboflavin, it's another B vitamin, a B2 vitamin. And then how we can replace what we lose out on milk with dark green leafy vegetables, enriched and whole grain products. Riboflavin break down proteins into amino acids, fats and carbohydrates in the form of glucose. So it's again very important for our energy supply. Protein and fat. Protein we will be able to take from meat, fish, poultry, eggs, soy products, peanut, other legumes, tree nuts, and seeds. So here again, we have to be careful with peanuts and tree nuts because your child may be allergic at the same time. And that's not a good substitute then. Protein they are large molecules. They are essential part of any living creatures. And fat at the end, vegetable oils, margarine, avocado, meat, fish, poultry, peanut, tree nuts, and seeds are good alternatives. Again, here the tree nuts and peanut comes up as with a warning sign. We have to be careful with that. It's essential. So fat is an essential part of our diet. Most fats our body is able to create, but there are certain fats that we need to take in. So it is very important again for fueling our body. Another food group is grains. Most common is wheat allergy. Whole and enriched grains provide an excellent source of complex carbohydrates, thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, iron, dietary fiber, magnesium, and vitamin B6. In the USA, many grains are now enriched with folic acid as well. And now let's see what substitute foods would be great to replace grains with. As far as niacin, thiamine, and riboflavin, they are all B vitamins, which are very important for our energy supply. And for niacin, meat, poultry, tuna, salmon, liver, peanuts, seeds, legumes, enriched and whole grain alternative grain products are good. For thiamine, liver, pork, other meats, sunflower seeds, enriched and whole grain alternative grain products, nuts and legumes. And for riboflavin, milk, dark green leafy vegetables, enriched and whole grain alternative grain products again. Iron, very important. Heme iron is meat, fish, shellfish, poultry, and non-heme iron is enriched and whole grain alternative grain products, legumes, and dried fruits. Iron is an important compound of hemoglobin in red blood cells. Basically, these cells are the ones responsible for carrying oxygen everywhere in our bodies. Folic acid, enriched and whole grain alternative grain products, beef liver, spinach, legumes, especially lentils, avocado, and orange juice. Folic acid helps produce and maintain new cells. Carbohydrates, you can get them from fruits, vegetables, legumes, and products made with alternative grains or flours such as rice, oat, corn, buckwheat, potato, tapioca, amaranth, millet, and quinoa. Carbohydrates are clearly our energy source to make glucose. And fiber. Fruits, vegetables, alternative whole grains. Fiber helps move stool through the digestive system, helps to prevent colon cancer, and also slows down the rate how sugar is absorbed into our bloodstream. So fiber is an essential part of our diet. Therefore, it is important to pay attention that if you are allergic to wheat, you do have substitutes food for that. Replacing soy, egg, peanut, tree nut, fish, and shellfish are challenging only when there are other dietary constraints such as vegetarian diet, picky eating, or religious reasons. Otherwise, they are not large percentage of daily nutrients.